you are living in such a beautiful environment. You have kind of the best of two worlds here. You have the city right across the lake from here, and you have the beautiful lake with its beautiful sunsets, early morning rises, and then you have this beautiful garden.
And the mountains.
And the mountains,
And the mountains.
yes. I forgot about the mountains. And there are so many nuances as far as color is concerned here. And I know we previously talked about color, and we talked about how you were fascinated with fire.
The sunsets here are just gorgeous. A lot of oranges and golds, and it's very inspiring.
So the fire and the fire of the sun meet each other right here in nature. Is that right?
They do.
Let's go sit over there. I would love to talk to you a little bit more about the Shino class and how you get specifically to the Shinos and how you developed yourself. And I've seen on Facebook people talking about you as the Shino Queen.
I won't claim that.
So you pulled this cup out of your collection yesterday. And the beauty of it is that it's a Shino, and it's a very smooth Shino, showing different colors here. And as I'm going down into the cup, there are layers that's busy appearing, and I'm sure it's going to go all the way to the bottom of this. That's the beauty of Shino, is it not? That you can build layer on layer.
You can get a wide variety of colors with the Shinos, and it's all on how you glaze and dry and fire the Shinos that creates all this different color.
How did you get to this?
I started out doing a lot of content reduction, working with Temuku and Celadon, and then I got the opportunity to wood fire, and there was a lot more patterns and flame marks and oranges, and I really liked that look. And then I wasn't able to participate anymore. The person that I fired with sold their property and moved, so I wasn't able to fire anymore. And then someone suggested Shinos, and I read an article by Pete Pinnell. He did a 4-part series in Clay Times, and there was an abundance of knowledge about Shinos, and so I used that, and I took a class from Malcolm Davis, and just started experimenting and going from there.
Both Pete Pinnell and the late Malcolm Davis are excellent, but it seems to me like it's such a it's one of those glazes that can give you so much satisfaction once you start exploring it. How did you start it out to explore by yourself?
So I took all the information from the articles, and I started experimenting in my studio, mixing up the glaze, trying different ways of slowing down the drying in areas, and I had a lot of bad pots to begin with.
I don't believe that for one single moment, but yeah.
And learning the firing schedule for a Shino compared to the ways I had been firing. And
so it's different.
It's different, yes. With the Shinos, you have to be sure to get that heavy early reduction. And get a lot of carbon on the pots, and then just gradually let up the reduction as you go up, as opposed to a specific body and glaze reduction for normal glazes. And it just years of practice and experimenting, and I'm still experimenting and working on different ways to get colors the way I want them.
This last batch of yours, it just has so many layers to it. For us, of course, that comes from South Africa, and specifically me that was raised in Namibia, I can see all these sand dunes in it. And I also see my little tortoiseshell cats in it, in some of your pieces as well. But you, of course, see the flames and the sunsets. So it looks like you can take one bucket of Shino and just paint a whole scene with it. Am I right if I say so?
You can get a variety of results and more painterly looks by how you dry it. You can get soft lines or hard lines by brush strokes of wax. There's different ways of achieving different kinds of patterns and lines on it, and you can almost get a painterly look to it.
Can you combine different colors of Shinos with each other, or different recipes of Shinos with each other? Because I know that you get the smooth ones like this one, and then you get ones that's a little bit more of an orange peel, and some that is completely dry, a little bit of a crackle. How does that work?
I think most Shinos will work well with each other. That's where the experimenting comes in. Test
The
layering
secrets.
them. Test layering them. Put one Shino inside, one other Shino outside. It's a matter of testing and then coming up with the answer that way.
But it's a fairly rigid glaze, right? It does not, if you would put one layer on top of another one, it would not run. It stays.
Right. Shinos are very stiff. They don't
Yes.
run.
Uh-huh.
And so you really don't have to worry about them running off the pot when firing. And when layering them, like other glazes where you put a glaze over a glaze, there's a likelihood that it could run more. And you won't find that with Shinos.
Okay. So it's a fairly, it's a secretive kind of a glaze, but when you start revealing the layers of it, then it becomes kind of easy. Is that what you're saying?
Right. If you know what's going to affect it, you can plan on how you want your pot to turn out, where you want the dark and the orange, and but then you have to make sure the rest of the steps work with that plan and get the right reduction to make that happen.
So it's all about understanding your glaze.
Yes.
Now I have in front of me, I have several of your publications. And you made it to the front cover of this one.
Yes.
You
I was surprised. Yes. Happy surprise.
I'm not surprised at all. And at this stage it was just the fire struck that you were talking about in our previous interview that I had with you. You told me a little bit about your interest in the fire specifically because you were a firefighter. You also mentioned in this specific article that you always wanted to be an artist.
Artist and scientist, and the experimenting and the glaze chemistry and the art all comes together.
So I should not even ask you about your interest in glaze calculation because that's exactly what it is, right? A combination between that color development and the science and the math probably too.
Yeah.
Did you call this the duck series?
Yeah. They look like little ducks in a row. So.
Yeah, I think I saw some of your images about that. There they are. This looks like it's been a huge honor for you to be in here. You had this image here and you had one on page, I think, 76. My quiet personality seems to flow into my work. And I've heard you or saw you say that in several occasions. You are a big queen of Shinos and different glazes that's holding it very close to your chest. And what I mean by that is not that she's holding the knowledge back, but she's a quiet person. She speaks with her actions more than with your words. Am I right?
Yes, I would say that's pretty accurate.
But yet, if you look at that mug that you have in your hand,
Not so quiet, huh?
this is not quiet. It's a bold statement that you're making here. So the artist and the scientist, I think, came full circle in your life. Am I right if I say so? Yes.
Yes.
Connie is also very humble, I have to tell you that. She's a very humble person, very likable. So these two pieces, the ones that you've got in this magazine, they're not Shinos.
They're both wood-fired.
Okay, so it comes from a previous time period.
Right. Before 2000. And they're much quieter. And then when I started the Shinos, well, then
The Shino started pulling your personality out.
became much bolder.
I also discovered this coffee table book where I found this one and this one of your work. Now I know these books were very, very popular and you had to be juried into them. What made you decide to get yourself into this cooking pot of competition?
Well, I keep pushing myself to make better work, and it was a challenge to see if I could get my work out there and accepted in books or magazines.
This one is much more quiet, and then with this one you started reaching over into the forms that you have right here. So why don't you just in a nutshell quickly tell us what we can expect from your online class? Give me an idea so that we can get all those people out there to attend your online Shino class.
It will include how I mix the Shinos, how I apply the glaze and dry it, and how I fire it to achieve these results.
Can you do this at all in an electric kiln?
This you can't do in an electric kiln. There are glaze recipes for Shinos for electrics, but you get a different result. Gas reduction is the best way to get this kind of result.
I think we gave them enough of a teaser so that we can get many people that's going to be interested in your Shino online class. Something that can go across the world. You do not necessarily just have to do it here in the United States. And with that, I want to thank you, Connie, for hosting us here in this beautiful setting that you have here. And I want to congratulate you and wish you all the best with your upcoming strictly functional competition, exhibition that you've been in, and you've been in it in the past, right?
Yes, I've been in it a few previous times.
Okay, and
Yes.
you're going to be in it again,
Yes, this year. Yeah.
pushing the limits. Thank you, Connie, and all the best to you for your future.
Yeah. Thank you for coming out here this week, and I've enjoyed the week of filming. A little stressful with the firing, making sure it turned out. But
Well,
It did.
It turned out fantastic. I can tell that to everybody, and you'll see that in some of the images.